tickled his nose and made him sneeze. Chew!
That sneeze woke up his grandpa, who lived in a hollow stump. And Grandpa came walking
Dum, dum, dum.
and walked out of his hollow stump and said, "Bless you, my little fur grandson, every time you sneeze."
Chew!
Thank you. Thank you, said his grandpa. And then old Grandpa went thump, thump, back into his hollow stump. And the little fur child went on to the dark and sunny woods till he came to a little river full of fish. The fish didn't have any fur and they didn't have any feet. They swam around under the river. The little fur child watched them for a long time.
Then he reached in the river and pulled out a fish. And he looked at it. And then, kerplunk, he threw it back in the river.
He reached into the air and he caught a flying bug and he held it in his hand and he looked at it. The bug didn't have any fur, it was shiny, it had little wings, and then
zip!
He threw it back in the air. Then he caught a tiny little fur animal, the littlest fur animal in the world. It had warm, silky fur and even a little fur nose. So he kissed it right in his little fur nose and put it gently back in the grass.
And the little tiny fur animal ran down a hole in the ground.
The sun went down beyond the river. The sky grew wild and red. And the little fur child turned around and ran for home. And just as the darkness got very dark,
he bumped into his big fur mother, and she took her little fur child home in her arms and gave him his supper.
And there was his father who put him to bed. They tucked him in bed all soft as warm, and they held his paw and they sang him a song. Sleep, sleep, my little fur child, out of the windiness, out of the wild. Sleep warm in your fur all night long. In your little fur family, this is the song. Good night, little spoders.
Good night.
Shall I leave now? Good night.